Welcome to the MTR Coaching Hot Seat, where you can ask me 3 questions or less in 15 minutes or less. What's going on, brother?
Nothing much. How you doing? Nice to meet you, man.
Absolutely. Let me ask you first before we jump. How did you connect? How did you come across this coaching hot seat? Where did we connect from, brother?
Actually, it was YouTube. Yeah, YouTube. I don't know how you got on my feed, but I saw you, and you definitely sparked my interest. And yeah, you were saying some real good things, man. I can't front you. You really I'm very interested in seeing what you got going on, man.
Awesome, brother. All right, cool. We'll capture your voice just so you know that this shared on social to help others who may have similar questions. It's like a hotline. So I got your questions here, man. I don't want to waste any more of your precious time. We're already 1 minute into it. So I see you have 3 questions here, and you're welcome to add on if you need to, as long as it's within 50 minutes. But we got, what if the property is in a not so good area? So can you elaborate on that question, Andre, a little bit more?
All right. Well, actually, the I have a property. I'm a builder.
Mm,
Yes, I have built a duplex
okay.
um, in uh, in downtown Atlanta, around the area around there, Mercedes-Benz Stadium. See,
Yeah,
I
the
know you're
West End, the West End.
yeah,
Yeah,
West End, so it's Northwest Atlanta,
yeah,
and the area that we built in. I usually get these properties in developing areas. I don't want to say I hate to say gentrified, but yeah, the area is getting
yeah. No, I get
gentrified.
it. You're a
Yeah,
little, a little rough on the edges here and there,
right.
but
But
still
we're
potential down the road, right? I mean, I'm
Oh
still
yeah,
potential now. We're
yeah.
just
I
playing
mean,
the long
right.
term game.
We got the belt line right there. Everything there.
Yeah,
A lot of developers building up in that same area,
yeah.
and yeah. I came across your program here, and I'm noticing that these families want to get put in houses, and so I'm wondering if that area being it's coming, it's developing, it's a good area potentially, but it's still a little rough around the edges, like you said. Does that cancel me out from um being qualified for these insurance and traveling nurses and corporate housing?
Okay, so two things there, Andre. So number one, travel nurses versus insurance housing are two complete different avatars, right? The avatar that we cater to is for larger homes. Like right now, I'm trying to look in Atlanta. I'm trying to find a 6 bedroom home, and I can't find one in the Druid Hills area. So that's the kind of problem we're solving. It's these 4 to 6 bedroom homes, I would say. Uh, there's a plenty of 2 to 3 bedroom homes, and that caters to a different avatar. That's like a traveling nurse, different margins, lower. We want the big margins. At least I want the big margins. So therefore, we're catering to a larger product. Now, with that said, going back to your initial question, is what if the property is not in not so good area? It doesn't cancel you out in your terms, but it does reduce the pool based on uh here's what you need to think about, Andre. Uh when you think about who is being displaced and relocated, it's always going to be relocating to a like kind property. So if their property is not in good condition, it doesn't mean that it's not as valuable, but you have to also think, um, do they have an insurance policy on it? Ideally, if they're paying a mortgage, they do. If they're displaced, they're going to look for a like kind home. So if you're surrounded by a bunch of properties on your block that are 2 bedroom homes, 3 bedrooms, etc., and you're building these really nice properties and kind of redeveloping them and turning them into these 4 bedroom, 5 bathrooms, at least that's my sweet spot, then the adjuster may not choose your property as a like kind property. They're going to go on Furnish Finder and find a like kind property from where they just came from that is in a very kind of similar comparable. So if they're living in a beat up, and I say that just to put things into context, if they're living in a beat up 2 bedroom home, then there's many more alternatives to finding them a 2 bedroom home that's decent to relocate them. They're not going to take somebody from a 2 bedroom kind home and bring him to like a bedroom penthouse luxury or whatever. You know what I mean? So I think what you need to factor in is if you are going to be in an area that's, you know, still kind of developing, you have to think about the inventory and the amount of claims. Are people even filing claims? You know, are they in a position where they have good, you know, in a good standing to even file these claims? So I think one of the things to step back on, Andre, say like these developments, what kind of properties are you actually developing? Because that will tell me a lot about the type of inquiries that we deal with on the insurance side. But on the traveling nurse side, I think there's plenty of demand there for plenty of the, you know, traditional returns that people get for those kind of margins. So let's go back to that question. What kind of homes are you developing in that area?
Well, I have right now we have a, a duplex, or you want to, duplex slash townhomes.
How
I
many
have a two.
bedrooms?
It's three and three bedrooms, two baths on each unit, but the units are connected. So
Yeah, yeah.
if you had a six, if somebody wanted a six bedroom, I can put them in that one house. Well, duplex. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. The only
Yeah.
the only thing I would say to that, Andre, to keep in mind is if they're coming from a six-bedroom home,
Hmm.
they're they're not, you know, and again, I don't know if you have doors that connect or etc., but they're gonna look for a like kind of property. So when they have, if they have options, they're gonna
Hmm.
look at maybe even a five-bedroom home that can accommodate them so they can have dinner together, etc., all under one roof, right? Rather than putting them, because you have to think about it. This is a situation where that house becomes their home temporarily for a longer time. That's why the hotel is not as feasible. It's because we're trying to give him a longer term temporary solution. Like it could be a 4 month situation, 5, 6 months even. So it has to be conducive to their existing lifestyle. So what I would say is if I'm looking, and again, it doesn't rule you out. I'm just giving you the data of like you might not be catering to the same avatar. Yes, you could. By the way, we've displaced many families in 3 bedrooms home. I just got another family in a 3 bedroom home in Decatur. You know, we co-host another 3 bedroom home in north side of Decatur as well. So it's not that these claims can't happen. I just like to increase my chances by being able to have a larger asset type that will serve a family of two easily because you can fit a family of two in a 5 bedroom home, but it's hard to fit a family of 10 in a 2 or 3 bedroom home. So that's the just to let you know where my mind goes. I'm always looking for, let me optimize for bigger because I can cater to more people.
Okay.
That makes sense?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So I see a second question you got on here is why is it difficult to get a direct contact with a relocation specialist? Are there management companies that can provide these services for you?
Well, that was
So
the third
those
question.
okay, cool, cool. All right. So let's go. Why is it difficult to get a direct contact with a relocation specialist? Right. That's your question. Um,
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think it's difficult. It's just they're not like they will call you when they need you. So it's almost like, you know, when you get like a spam call, like someone's trying to sell you something that you're not trying to have right now.
Hmm.
Like you can call a relocation specialist right now and be like, "Hey, I got this duplex I'm working on this in this, you know, west end of Atlanta." And it's like, "Okay, well, I don't have anything on my desk that like I don't have a family relocated in that area. However, what I focus on, Andre, is building the relationship so that when they do have something, that they're thinking of me first. And it's not that they're hard to reach. As a matter of fact, you can go in their database and they will reach out to you when they need you. So, for example, you've heard of ALE Solutions if you've watched some of my content.
Yeah, yeah, I've heard of them, and yeah.
Yeah, like so it's they're not hidden, honestly. You could do a LinkedIn and find them all, but if you reach out to them and you're trying to sell me like right now, if I'm trying to sell you solar roofing, maybe you might include in your development, but maybe you don't need it now, so you're going to ignore my call or you're going to see my email and be like, "Oh, cool, I'll get back to it," but when the time is right. So it's not that they're hard to reach, it's that if you reach out to them, they might not need you because they might not need you now, but that's why the goal is to stay top of mind because when they need you, they'll be like, "Oh yeah, that Andre guy that keeps them." He's emailed me like 100 times about he's got some stuff near Mercedes-Benz Stadium, and I got a family that's coming from there. Let me reach out to him.
Okay, maybe I just had a different, I thought maybe it was just more like a, because I did reach out and it seemed like they were saying, hey, yeah, you need to list your thing here, da da da. So I thought it was more like you said, like a direct contact to a direct person, So maybe I just need to keep on following up, like you said. I think I watched a couple more of your videos. You said follow up a lot and stuff like that. Yeah.
Fortune's a follow up, and there isn't like, if you're asking, is there a direct person right now that needs to relocate in uh near the Mercedes-Benz Stadium? That's the $1 million question, and your job is to get in front of that person and almost time it perfectly, which is, nearly impossible. What you can do is live with where they're going to be able to find you when they need you.
Right, right,
Because even if you do get in contact, they'll tell you just that, because that is where they look first. Yeah, yeah, submit yourself in the database. So they're telling you what they can based on what they have. If someone continues to reach out to you on marketing, you get cold calls all the time. If it's not the service that you need right now, you'll just either say, hey, I'm not interested, or okay, thanks. Yeah, get back to me in a year when I need it, or later. You know what I mean? It's the same concept, right? They can only do
right,
so
right.
much.
Okay.
Cool. So, and then the third question, are there management companies that can provide these services for you? So, can you elaborate on that question, on what you might mean by those services?
Yeah, like property management services that kind of their niche is insurance, relocation and stuff like that. Are there anything
I
services like that, or is that what you are you're coming to the table with?
Well, it's funny because I did roll out like a beta program like that, but here at the end of the day, I like to teach people how to fish than rather fish for them. I think it's, if you learn this lifelong skill set of how to work with these temp housing companies, then you can essentially that's essentially what we do. Like, the reason these companies reach back out to us is because they see us as a management company that have access to a lot of properties. So I think what you can do, to answer your question, no, I do not think. I think there's a lot of temporary housing agencies, uh, but your traditional management company is doing the absolute bare minimum, and that's why they're dealing with LTRs. Even on the STR side of management, they just don't have um the knowledge or the infrastructure in place to be able to essentially create another B2B business department to fulfill these homes. So I think if you're listening to this right now, which I know you are, but whoever's watching this, I think there's a huge opportunity to niche, or at least have that as a strategy for your management, because I think you can get more business as a management company if you go out and say, hey, we not just do short-term rental management, but we also do corporate housing management, and we're able to get you larger spreads and margins. Let us manage your property. That's a huge selling point. And that's what we do, except we don't really manage for people. We kind of manage within our mastermind group and people who we help buy. We do co-hosts and stuff like that. We use that strategy. But to anybody who's out there who's co-hosting, power to you. And obviously you can join my mastermind for that if you're interested in being able to do it yourself and build it. Because there's multiple mom and pop small businesses out there that could really benefit and give themselves an edge in the marketplace by having this up their sleeve.
Mm,
Yeah.
okay.
Look at that
Well,
timing. Boom, right on the money. Anything so, brother, anything else? Look, it sounds like you're consuming a lot of content, which is good. That's why I put it out there. But are you on my email list? You got my blueprint, midterm rental
yes,
insurance.
yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, stay on top of that. I'm doing another webinar on Saturday as well. So just to share the insights, but I think you position yourself right. The thing I would say with your properties, man, just make them. I always put it this way: if I'm gonna go into this space and I really want to strike big, I'm gonna make sure that I really study the short-term rental numbers first. Meet the regulations as well, get the license. It's easy to get permits in Atlanta. It's not as complicated as some other places with respect to your county. And then look at Air DNA, look at the numbers there, because I always say we select our properties based on what the short-term rental numbers are doing, because that's our exit strategy. But then we optimize our properties enough and foster relationships that we can land these contracts over time. And so you always want to have a security blanket, and that's how I would go into it, right? Forecast your numbers for short-term rentals. That way you're essentially running it as a short-term rental until you land a big mid-term rental insurance contract that can make a huge difference on your portfolio. So that's what I would do. That way you're not like, just thinking like, okay, let me MTR. I think it's a foundation that is built on the short-term rental industry, because at the end of the day, they are short-term rentals. They're just longer short-term rentals, and you're dealing with an avatar or company that has billions of dollars behind it. So that's where we go. We just follow the money, man. Am I wrong for that?
Right, no, yeah, definitely. I feel you, and I really appreciate you giving me the time and taking my call, man. I really appreciate that. And
Absolutely, absolutely. Stay in touch. Stay in touch with brother. I'm here in Atlanta, so I'm active on the real estate experiment Instagram page. So if you slide in my DM, if you ever come across a deal or something, well,
uh,
you know, that's how we can stay strong together as a unit and as a collective with these companies, because they certainly need the inventory.
okay, okay, definitely.
All
We're
right.
building another one in Latonia and another one in Latonia. So I'm really gonna stay in touch with you and try to get myself going in this field right here.
Go all in, brother. Don't try, just do it.
Definitely, definitely.
All right, awesome. Have a good rest of your evening, brother.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Andre.
Thank you.
Cheers.
All right.